The Cannabis World Congress and Business Exposition took place last week at the Javits Center in New York City. New York has some of the most strict medical marijuana laws in the country, which led to a cannabis expo with no cannabis. But there are groups in New York that are fighting the good fight, trying to ease New York's laws.
We were in Albany lobbying and working alongside a bunch of other great organizations and for the effort for the movement.
Well, what about medical marijuana in New York? It seems like such a limited program that's like a cannabis without cannabis.
Yeah, so pretty much we have one of the most restrictive and most expensive medical programs in the country. You're talking about products of upwards of $1,000 to $1,400, so people can't even afford to be patients in New York City.
New York's medical program has stalled, not allowing for flowers or edibles, which has led to minimal enrollment and a failing program.
New York is in a state where they haven't even recognized the medical values as a state, and so once they do, it'll start loosening it up. I think that they're watching the rest of the world going, wait a minute, like this is stimulating the economy.
What the Expo lacked in cannabis, it made up for with great keynote speakers, like New York State Senator Dianne Sorvino, former Governor Jesse the Body, former world champion New York Giant Leonard Marshall, and political powerhouse and provocateur Roger Stone. Even the Reverend Al was there. They also had lots of great services and products for all your cannabis needs.
We specialize in extraction, initial processing, post-processing, anything to really get your lab going to make concentrates.
We see our product empowering every food professional, chef, and baker in the state of California to make their own dosage-specific cannabis-infused edibles.
Cannabis was really an easy transition for us because we've done a lot in specialty food, so edibles and packaging smelly things really kind of came naturally to us.
With no THC allowed, the star of the show was CBD. It came in all shapes and sizes with award-winning ingredients. There was a little something for all your CBD needs, as well as testimonials about the difference CBD is making in the lives of everyday families.
Harper was a young girl that passed away from seizures and epilepsy. While she was alive, her sister's part of the story, which is Lily, says that once we gave her hemp oils, that her life started to change. The parents decided to use hemp oils, and it actually gave her a better quality of life before she passed.
There are currently 8 states, including Washington, D.C., with legalized cannabis. But New York has the potential to be almost surrounded by legalization in November. Massachusetts is already legal, Vermont passed a bill which was vetoed by their governor, Canada is fully legal, and Connecticut and New Jersey could be voting to end prohibition in November. All of this has driven the price of pot in New York to an all-time low, which is great for consumers, but the state is losing out on hundreds of millions of dollars in tax revenue and still spending millions of dollars on enforcement. The path to legalization in New York feels inevitable, but if their medical program is any indication, the future is still cloudy.
Colorado's got $1 billion in tax revenue. What's going to happen in a state like New York with quadruple the population?
We're talking about feeding the homeless, providing housing, actual access to health care. Thank you.
Public education.
Actually, we have free college now. Let's expand upon that.
Let's figure out how to pay for free college.
Cannabis is going to be big money. It's going to be great money. But hemp is going to be the long money. And it can actually be the economic engine to restart my hometown, which is the capital city of New Jersey, Trenton. It just makes sense. And in today's age, our politics needs to start making more sense.
It's not just about just the foliage, the plant, but invigorating the people to really find their place in this industry.